Hey guys, Stephanie here. Welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, guys, I'm going to show you how to prevent getting oily makeup. I know that's something that we all struggle with, especially if you have oily skin or acne prone skin. It's a hassle. So I'm just going to show you some tips and tricks on what I do to get my makeup to last the entire day and to prevent getting oily makeup. So without further ado, let's jump onto the video. Okay guys, so before we dive into the makeup, I first want to talk about skincare. Having a good skincare regimen is the foundation to having flawless makeup. And I plan to film an updated skincare routine video, so I'm only going to talk about this briefly, but I just want to mention two items that really help with my oily skin. The first item I want to mention are toners. Now, ever since I've started using toners, I've seen a huge difference with my oily skin. It really helps to remove the excess dirt and to remove excess oil on the skin as well. So I think having a good toner in your skincare routine is really important if you just want to help eliminate oily skin and prevent having oily makeup. Now, there are plenty of great toners out there for sale. Lancome have a lot of great toners, as well as Clinique, but my personal favorite would hands down has to be the apple cider vinegar toner. For me, I find this the most effective for my oily skin, and it's also really inexpensive. And all I do is just take my apple cider vinegar. They have plenty of different brands, but I usually buy Bragg, and I just pour half of it into a bottle, and then I pour the other half with water, shake it up, put it into a cotton ball, and distribute it all over my face. And guys, this has been a huge help. So if you're not using a toner in your skincare regimen, I highly recommend that you do, because you're going to see a huge difference in your skin, especially for people with oily skin and acne prone skin. The second item I want to talk about are moisturizers, gel-based moisturizers to be exact. I remember for the longest I used to use cream moisturizers, but ever since I switched over to gel-based moisturizers, I've seen a significant difference in my skin. So if you have oily skin, I highly recommend that you switch over to a gel-based moisturizer, because they're just as hydrating, they're just as moisturizing, and they're also oil-free, so they won't leave your skin feeling greasy afterwards. Now, two of my favorite gel-based moisturizers are first the Amore Pacific Hydrogel Moisturizer. I just love how this feels on my skin. It just feels so hydrating, and my skin feels so moisturized afterwards. And these are available at Sephora, but guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit pricey. So a cheaper alternative to that is the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Water Gel. This one is also moisturizing, it's hydrating to the skin, and it works just as well. So I'm gonna leave all the information down below. Okay guys, so as y'all can see, I did my eyes and my eyebrows for the sake of time, and we're just gonna move on straight to the face. So of course, the next step is going to be priming the skin. And if you want to prevent oily makeup, I would suggest that you go with a mattifying primer. Now there's tons of primers on the market. Becca has a really good mattifying primer. NYX if you're looking for a cheap alternative. But today I'm going to be using my Urban Decay De-Slick Primer. Not only is this primer mattifying, but it's also great for shine control, and it's going to give you that pore minimizing effect as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit and distribute it all over my face. And I would also recommend that you try to pat the product into your skin as opposed to rubbing it, because this is going to avoid it from flaking. So next, this part is optional, but I'm just going to do a little bit of color correcting on my skin because I have a lot of dark spots and hyperpigmentations, and I also want to get rid of these dark circles under my eyes. This next step, guys, has been a complete game changer for me. I kid you not. Ever since I started using this technique, my makeup would stay matte throughout the entire day, and it is applying powder to the face before your foundation. And not just any powder, guys. It has to be a setting powder. And there are tons of setting powders out there, so it doesn't really matter which one. Just make sure that it's a translucent setting powder. And today, I'm going to be using my Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and taking my beauty sponge, I'm going to pat this all over the entire face. This technique helps to reduce any excess oils on the skin, and it also helps to keep your makeup mattified. So now that we got the powder on, we're going to move on to the foundation. And of course, I'm going to use a matte foundation. That's already a given. If you want your makeup to stay matte, if you don't want to end up with oily makeup, use a mattifying foundation. So my favorite at the moment will hands down have to be the LA Colors Truly Matte Foundation. I am so in love with this foundation. If you haven't already seen my review, I'm gonna leave it up top so you could check out my review on this. I am just so in love with this foundation. But anyway, I'm gonna be using my Morphe M439 brush, and I'm going to buff it in the skin. I still can't believe that this foundation is $6. Like, when I tell you, this is bomb. Do you see the coverage on this? Oof, I'm so in love with this. So now that we got the foundation down and complete, we're gonna move on to highlighting next. And I'm gonna use my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn, and I'm only gonna highlight under the eyes just a tad bit. So nowadays, I've been trying to avoid using too much cream products besides my foundation, because the more cream products that you use on your face, I feel like the more you are gonna be prone to oily makeup and cakey makeup. So try not to go too overboard with your cream products such as foundation, concealer, etc. So as I mentioned earlier, one way to prevent getting oily makeup is to use a minimal amount of cream products. And next, I'm going to contour my face, but we're going to avoid using cream products, and I'm going to use a bronzer powder to contour my face. And today, I'm going to be using my Milani Pressed Powder in the shade Earth Glow. Surprisingly, you can get a nice contour by just using a bronzer. You do not have to use a cream product to get a nice and sharp contour. I'm also going to take some and apply it on the sides of my nose just to give it some dimension. So next, we're gonna move on to the most important step, okay? And it is setting the makeup. Whenever you use a cream product, whether it's foundation, concealer, etc., you always want to make sure to set it with a setting powder. You do not want to use a face powder. Trust me, I've made that mistake in the past before, and my makeup would just end up a big grease ball by the end of the day. So do not use a face powder to set your makeup. Use a setting powder. So taking my beauty sponge, I'm going to set under the eyes using my Sacha Buttercup setting powder. And for the rest of the face, I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier setting powder in the shade Medium Deep. And after I let it sit for a minute or two, I'm going to wipe off all the excess powder off using my e.l.f. powder brush. So after I'm done setting my makeup, I usually tend to follow up with a face powder, and my favorite one to use is my MAC Mineralized Powder in the shade Dark Deepest. This powder provides a light and sheer coverage, so this will help to avoid getting cake face and oily makeup by the end of your day. Alright guys, so I just completed the rest of my makeup off camera, and the last step is to further set the makeup using a setting spray. And today I'm going to be using my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and I'm going to take my beauty sponge to press it into the skin. So if you have oily skin, I would recommend that you try to go for a setting spray that is oil-free and mattifying. Alright guys, so that's all for this video. I really hope that you found my tips and tricks to be helpful, and if you did, please don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe to my channel before you leave. Give me a big thumbs up, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.